everyone, I'm Em and this is Booksprite. I haven't been filming for ages again. I actually have a reason this time, and that very reason is that I lost my camera battery charger. Okay, so technically I didn't lose it per se, I just forgot it at my boyfriend's and then I couldn't get it for like 3 months. Yes, that is a real story. That's how messy I am. We're just gonna skip ahead of that and just move on. Today's video is going to be my TBR for the NEWT Magical Readathon of 2019. This is my first time participating in this very readathon. It's a bit of a special readathon, but I will link you to the announcement video made by Goodreads, who is the creator and organizer of this readathon, down below. Basically, this readathon though is based around the Hogwarts exams. They have 2 readathons every year, the OWLs in April and then the NEWTs in August. And what she's made for this year is that you can like look at a career pamphlet and then you choose a career and then you pick your OWLs based on that, and then you also get your NEWTs based on that. However, I discovered this readathon in July, so I didn't do the OWLs, but what I did was I did the OWLs in July, and there were a lot of people like doing the OWLs in July. Well, I say that I did the OWLs in July because technically I'm not finished yet, but we'll get to that. So basically, you pick a career and then you do your OWLs based on that, and you read books with reading prompts based on that, and then you move forward and you do your NEWTs. So if this sounds like an interesting readathon, I would definitely recommend checking out Goodreads' channel below, where she talks about all of the stuff about this readathon. I personally think it sounded so cool, and I couldn't do the reading rush this year, so I'm very happy to be joining another long readathon. So without further ado, let's just get into what career I've chosen and what books I'm planning to read. So since I discovered this readathon in July, I decided to go for a fairly easy career. The careers vary in difficulty, like some require you to read like maybe 12 or 15 books, while some only requires like 4. So the career that I have chosen for myself is journalist or writer. To be able to become a journalist or writer, you have to have an OWL in History of Magic, 1 in Muggle Studies, and 1 in another topic of your choosing. The ones that I have completed is a topic of my own choosing and Muggle Studies, and so for Muggle Studies, the prompt was to read a contemporary book, and for that I read Save the Date by Morgan Matson. The other subject that I picked was Transfiguration, because the prompt for that was to read a book with red on the cover or read a book with sprayed edges. And for this, I read I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Science. I listened to this on audio, and as you can see, the main character has like a red shirt on the cover. So I have 1 OWL left before I'm done with my OWLs, and that is History of Magic, and for that the prompt is to read a book that is 10 years old or older. And for that I picked Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. I am currently reading this. Like I said, I started reading it, I just haven't been able to finish it yet. So my first goal is to finish this, for even though it's NEWTs now, so I'll be able to do my NEWTs after that. So now we're gonna get into the NEWTs. So again, to become a journalist or writer, you need to get an E in your NEWTs in History of Magic, an A in Muggle Studies, and A in 1 more subject of your picking. If you don't know, A is acceptable, E is exceeds expectations, and the way that these prompts work is that instead of there just being 1 prompt for each category, there are 3 prompts per subject. So 1 for A, 1 for E, and then 1 for the top grade that I don't remember the letter for. Oh, it's O, I think. Outstanding. To get an A in History of Magic, you have to read a fantasy book, and for that prompt I have chosen In an Absent Dream by Shauna McGuire. I picked this because it's short. I actually saved this for the reading rush, but then I didn't do the reading rush, and seeing as it's a fantasy, I figured it would be perfect. Like, it's short, it will help me get to all of the different challenges easier, and I mean, I love Shauna McGuire, so I just, there was no other option than this, guys. There really wasn't. And to get an E in History of Magic, you have to read a book with a map in it, and for that I have chosen Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I decided to pick this because I was originally reading it in July before I found out about this readathon, but I figured I would move it just because it fit the prompt, and that would motivate me to read it more, because I read the first book in the series earlier this year and I thought it was good, but it was a bit slow, and I'm scared that if I wait too long I'll forget all about it. So I'm making sure to read this now, and here you can see the beautiful map. So my 2 picks for History of Magic are these 2, and once I'm done with them, I'm gonna move on to Muggle Studies. And for Muggle Studies, I only need to get an A, so I'll only be reading one book for this subject. And the prompt for A is to read a book with an actual photo on the cover. For this prompt, I have chosen a Swedish book that I have on my TBR, and that book is Down Under by Johan Ian. This photo here is like of a boy from the back, and it looks really cool. Let me see if I can like show it to you closely. Yeah, this is what it looks like. I think this photograph is really cool. Like, when I heard of this challenge, I looked at my shelves, and I think that this one was the one that stuck out to me most of like a good photo cover. Like I said, this is a Swedish title, and I don't think it's been translated to English. All I know about it is that it's about a guy who is gay in like, I think, oh, it says 1987 on the back, and he goes to Australia, and that's all I know. Also, I know that the author of this book is married to one of my favorite Swedish YA authors, Mats Strandberg, but not that that like inflicts the quality of the book or anything. It's just something I knew about the author, basically. And the final thing that I have to do to get my NEWT to qualify for journalist or writer is to pick a topic of my choosing, and seeing as there's so many, I didn't really know what to do first, but I decided to go for charms, because the prompt for an A in charms is to read a book with a pretty cover, and like you get to choose a cover that you think look beautiful. So I have 2 picks for this. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna go for. It will just depend on my mood, but I think that it will probably be one of these 2, because I think these are the most stunning covers on my TBR right now. First one we have is Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. I have heard Haley from Haley and Bookland talk about this since it got a like cover change and stuff for the sequel. And I think that this new cover is just so beautiful. It's very simplistic, but it's so elegant, I think, and stylish, and I love the color of it. The other book that I might go for this is Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. This cover is just so beautiful. Like, the florals are so gorgeous, and I've been wanting to read this. I picked this up when I was in LA, and yeah, we'll see which one I go for. If I feel more in like a fantastical mood, I'll probably pick this one up. But if I'm feeling more of a contemporary vibe, then I'll go for this. And yeah, that is everything. That is my TBR for NEWT's Magical Readathon. I think counting the Battle of the Labyrinth, I have 5 books to read. And I feel like that is doable, like in a month. It would have been worse if it was like a week or 2 weeks. But it's a month-long readathon, so I feel like this is definitely doable, even though I'm not reading a lot at the moment. Also, I know that they will be having like a 24-hour like super sprint, and there's also Dewey's 24-hour readathon happening, so I will see if I'll be able to participate in any of those. I'm just excited to devote some time into reading again. Like, I have been reading, but not like a lot, you know what I mean? So, and also like a readathon is always fun. Like I said, I missed out on the reading rush, and it was painful AF. So I'm very excited to be doing this one instead. I'm thinking that I also might try to vlog. I'm not really a vlogger, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that was it for this video. Once this goes up, the readathon will already have begun. It actually has already begun because it's the 1st of August as of filming this. But if you're watching this, let me know if you're participating in this readathon and what subjects you're taking, like what careers are you going for, and let me know which books you're reading. It's always fun to like know what people are reading for readathons. I love hearing about that. But that is going to be it for this video. So I want to thank you all so very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video, whenever that will be, but it will happen. Bye!